You might not realize it, but your conversations could be quietly pushing people away. Today, we're sharing 5 social habits that make people lose interest without you noticing. Plus, how to catch the invisible pattern that makes others feel unseen by the end of this video.
Habit number 1. Someone might tell you about their weekend plans or something exciting, but you never ask them anything back or show interest in their life. That small skip makes conversations feel one-sided, and people quietly stop wanting to talk to you. You'd probably think talking about your own experiences and sharing stories is how you connect with people and has nothing to do with losing interest. But the reality is, when you skip asking questions back, people feel like you're using them as an audience instead of having an actual conversation with them. So when you talk without asking, people mentally check out long before the conversation's over. But forcing yourself to ask questions when you don't care also can feel fake and like you're just going through the motions. So how do you show genuine interest without making it feel like a job interview? Try pausing after someone shares and asking one follow-up question about what they just said. This helps you notice when you've been talking without checking in and shifts the energy to genuine curiosity about their experience instead of monologuing. When you finish sharing something, pause and think of one thing they mentioned that you actually want to know more about. Harvard researchers found that people who ask more follow-up questions are consistently rated as more likable in conversations. Remember, sharing without asking back makes conversations feel empty. So pause after talking and ask one thing.
Habit number 2. Someone might constantly make comments about how they look or what they're doing that basically beg for compliments or reassurance. Before long, people feel like they're propping up your ego instead of having a real conversation. You might assume that looking for reassurance or compliments shows you care what people think and has nothing to do with pushing them away. However, what's actually happening is you're putting pressure on people to always boost your self-esteem when they just want to connect normally. Fishing for validation or compliments becomes something you do automatically, and conversations turn into approval-seeking instead of genuine connection. But never wanting feedback or support also can feel like you're shutting people out. So how do you get the support you need without turning every talk into a compliment hunt? Catch yourself right before you fish for a compliment and redirect to genuine curiosity about them instead. When you feel the urge to say something self-deprecating or hint for praise, stop and ask the other person about their day or what's going on with them. That small shift turns conversations into real exchanges instead of validation quests that drain everyone around you. Psychologists at the University of Georgia found that people who constantly seek approval tend to strain their relationships, leaving others feeling emotionally drained. Remember, fishing for validation makes people feel used, so catch the urge and shift to curiosity.
Habit number 3. Ever met someone who agrees with everything and somehow you remember nothing about them afterward? Someone might always say things like, "I don't mind," "whatever you want," or "I agree" about every single thing without ever adding what they actually think or want. Pretty soon, people lose interest because there's no real personality showing up and conversations feel flat. You'd expect that being agreeable and going with the flow makes people like you more, but when you never share your real opinions, people can't connect with who you are underneath all that agreeableness. So defaulting to agreement becomes your go-to move, and you quietly disappear from your own conversations. But always disagreeing or being difficult about everything also can feel exhausting. So how do you share your thoughts without turning every talk into a debate? Pause before saying, "I don't mind," and check what you actually prefer. Even small preferences add texture and authenticity. When someone asks what you think, take a second to find a real answer, even if it's different. According to a Harvard Business School experiment, simply asking follow-up questions made participants significantly more likable to strangers. Remember, erasing your opinions makes you forgettable. So, pause and find your real preference.
Habit number 4. Someone shares something exciting or difficult, but the other person immediately jumps in with their own bigger, better, or worse version instead of responding to what was shared. Soon, people stop sharing because their stories keep getting hijacked. It can look like you're just relating and showing understanding, but what's really happening is you're competing instead of connecting. One-upping becomes your automatic response, and people start keeping things to themselves because sharing with you feels like losing a competition. But never sharing your own experiences also can make you seem distant. So how do you relate without making it about you? Catch the urge to one-up and respond with genuine interest first. Let them feel heard before you bring yourself into it. When someone tells you something, pause and react to what they actually said with curiosity or support before thinking of your own story. You'll notice how much deeper conversations go when you stop racing to speak. Sociologist Charles Derber, who coined the term conversational narcissism, found it appears in nearly 80% of everyday interactions. It's when one person constantly one-ups or redirects attention back to themselves, slowly eroding genuine connection. Remember, topping stories kills real connection, so respond with interest before sharing yours. Just think, listening is connection, competing, isolation.
Habit number 5. Now, as promised, here's the most invisible habit, the one that makes everyone around you feel unseen, even when you think you're being engaged. Someone might start a conversation about anything, but it somehow always circles back to your life, your problems, your opinions, your achievements, no matter what the original topic was. Eventually, people feel invisible because every topic becomes about you instead of a shared exchange. It seems like staying engaged and bringing your experiences into a conversation makes it more interesting. But when everything gets redirected to you, people stop bringing up topics because they know it'll become your show. So steering conversations back becomes an invisible habit, turning every chat into your show while everyone else fades into the background. But never talking about yourself can make you seem closed off. So how do you share without hijacking? Notice when you're redirecting and consciously stay on their topic for a while first. When you feel the urge to shift the focus, pause and ask another question about what they're saying or add to their topic instead. That simple shift helps people feel seen and makes your presence more magnetic, not self-centered. Stanford social psychologists found that when people dominate conversations with self-focused talk, others leave feeling unseen and undervalued. Remember, hijacking topics makes people invisible, so notice the redirect and stay with them. When you start catching these patterns, you'll turn small talk into real connection, and people will actually want to keep talking to you, instead of pushing everyone away without even knowing why they stopped wanting to talk. Which of these social habits shows up in your life without you noticing? Drop it in the comments below and see how many others relate.